Hey guys, John with Universal Aquatics. I hope everyone is doing well. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently than we normally do. We're going to be looking at a highlight video of a project, a couple of projects I should say, that we worked on for this TV show called Georgia Outdoors on Georgia PBS. And the name of the show was Backyard Ponds, but I wanted to show you basically our work. So we had a few projects that were showcased on the show. One was my backyard, one was a new project that we built in Tyrone, Georgia, which is south of Atlanta. And then one was another feature that we built for my buddy Adair Martin with all of his bonsai trees. But I wanted to show you guys essentially our work within the Georgia Outdoors TV show. So today we are actually Shaquille O'Neal's water feature that we helped build a couple of years ago just outside of Atlanta. And we still have a maintenance contract on this feature, so we come out every week or so and just make sure it's party ready all the time. But I hope you guys enjoy the video, and we'll see you next time.
This show is all about ponds. I built this one in 1994, but I'm going to take you to some ponds that put my little watering hole to shame. But this is my place of peace. I dug it out with a friend, then put the liner in and laid down every one of these rocks. Now, I recently had a professional install a new liner and expand the waterfall. Liners only last about 20 years, something to consider if you want a pond. John Magyar with Universal Aquatics installed my new liner and has been patching up my original pond for about 10 years. How many times do you think you have come out to fix my pond? We had the
4 or 5 times?
4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
We had to move the waterfall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many times.
Many times.
We made it shorter, then we made it longer, then we made it taller, and then we just redid everything.
Well, I had critters.
You did. You did.
And then I had roots growing through. This is more his style. It isn't really a pond, something else to consider. You don't have to have a pond, it can just be a water feature, like this babbling brook John built behind his home. Whenever you have water, you also get your own ecosystem.
The thing for me is that I just wanted to get as close to nature as I could. And especially, I don't know, it seems like I've had a little bit more time off and I just want to hang out outside.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
You outdid yourself.
So, initially this took about 3 weeks to get roughed in. Oh, there's a frog. You see it right there in the plants?
I do. I actually thought I was building something like this at the top of my pond, but this takes a skill set I do not have. There are filters and pumps and carefully laid rocks. There's even a trick to creating the right sounds. This is gorgeous. I mean, this looks like a natural babbling brook that you'd see in the forest.
I agree, but you know, I made it, so you know.
Yeah, modest.
Thumbs up for me. Thumbs
modest
up.
To you. Gosh,
so one thing to pick up on is what I like to point out to people is as you're walking down, you can start to hear different things. So you can hear this one in this ear, and then as you start walking down, you can pick up on other sounds, and then this will get softer and this will get a lot louder. If you want a pond, think hard about where you want it. Look at John's water feature, right below his deck, and easily viewed from other rooms in his house. How much can you afford to spend? Do you want fish?
There are thousands of pond artists or installers and many styles.
So the biggest thing that me as an artist, and I still struggle with this, and I get feedback from other pond artists throughout the country, and the way we look at it is we don't want it to look like a pearl necklace. You don't want the same size rock right next to each other in a perfect little circle that literally looks like a ring. You don't want that. So we try to get different size rocks with different texture, different, possibly, different shapes if you can get it, and definitely different sizes. You don't want something square, because first of all, well, you know what? Some people do want square, and that's okay. That's just not my style, Square drives me nuts. It just drives me nuts. I'm not a formal guy, and so I like things more irregular, but I try not to place things in a certain specific order, even though it's still really tough. And I still struggle with that. And we get better on every project, but I still sometimes will build something and we'll step back and we'll look, and I'll say, man, this is not right. You just got to take it out.
I saw you do that with a rock.
Probably 20 rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what we do.
Whether you do it yourself or choose to go with a professional, this is how it starts. You outline the shape of the pond with spray paint and then start digging. We followed John as he began this huge pond that will overlook a lake. The goal is to make the pond blend in with the lake. After digging, padding is laid down before putting the liner on top.
There's nothing like big boys and their toys, honestly, without this machine, there's no way we could do this, especially coming up 100 feet up a hill.
The liner for this pond is so large it cannot be handled without heavy equipment.
Wish we had another machine here and make this a lot easier. Watch your fingers and toes. I gotta move this thing a little bit, get it in better position. Yep. Backing up. What side's the pretty side? That side? Yeah.
This is why John refers to his work as artistry. Placing rocks together is a bit like doing a puzzle.
I see a few spots where I want to put a couple of rocks.
Pond designers are all a little different, but John likes to mix natural wood with the rocks.
So we're gonna, possibly use the driftwood that we get for accent pieces in the waterfall section, maybe around the pond. It's beautiful wood, so we're gonna try to make the feature at his house look as natural as the one here on the site already.
A pond this big is hard work. Large pumps have to be installed. Tons of rocks are moved. And all the while, John has to maintain his vision in the midst of a mess.
Normally at this point, it's good to see progress, but your mind starts to get tired, your body starts to get tired. It's a tiring thing, but you've got to make decisions on the fly, and some that, that are going to affect long-term what, ultimately what this thing is going to look like. You want it to be beautiful and as natural as possible, but the fatigue is definitely part of it.
Months later, our camera captured the end result. It is stunning. You can see the driftwood he pulled from the lake. Plants have now softened the edges, and the homeowner has this amazing view every day. We're going to one more pond that John built. Adair Martin wanted a koi pond to complement his bonsai trees.
Well, I come out and sit in the evenings on my patio and have a glass of wine and watch the fish. It's just really relaxing. I also tend to work on my bonsai trees off my back porch, and I can hear the water and hear the sound, and it's just really relaxing. The waterfall that he's put in, and there's 2 of them, and it's spectacular. And plus, I get to watch the fish, and so I just enjoy it.
James Liu was all about the koi, but Adair is all about the bonsai.
Bonsai, literally translated, means a planting in a tray. But what we all mean is it should be the idealized form of what a mature tree looks like in miniature, on either in a pot or on a slab or something, so that it's portable. So what we strive for is to have a tree that looks like it'd be something that you would find growing someplace, but just in miniature.
This tree is about 250 years old. Adair is right. Bonsai and koi do seem to go together.
This is a Japanese black pine. It's a pretty amazing tree too. This one, you can see all the lichen that's on there. I need to actually clean some of that out. This tree is probably about 75 to maybe 100 years old. This is an imported tree. This particular pot is an antique Chinese pot. It's like 100, 200, it's like 150 years old. So I like to match the old trees with the old pots. They kind of go together.
Adair believes everyone should have a pond. He has survived 2 bouts of cancer and says this is where he feels at one with nature. I've learned that everyone has a slightly different reason for having a pond. So we have been to 7 ponds or water features in 7 different towns. I didn't tell you where to protect the owner's privacy. But hopefully this pond tour gave you enough information to decide what kind of falling water you want, even if it's just a fountain. I'm Sharon Collins. We'll see you next time.